This is an extremely unique journey of yours. Obviously, you realize that, but from a Gilman Street club with Green Day and Rancid and Op Ivy to the monastery where Father Seraphim Rose had been and lived and now was buried there. Explain this journey, because again, this is extremely unique, and I think it's fascinating, and what a change of scenery, I suppose. Although maybe some of the confines are similar. I don't know. I'll let you get into that.
Well, when I found out that a person like me could actually visit that monastery or visit any monastery, I was very eager to do so. And so me and my friend barreled up there in an old car that broke down at the bottom of this mountain where the monastery was, and it was wintertime and it was snowing. We hiked up this road, this dirt road covered in snow, and we just kept walking and walking, assuming that we'd somehow encounter a monastery. And sure enough, after a really long walk, we started to see blue and gold in the treetops, and it was cupolas, and it was the blue and the white paint of the church. And all of a sudden, I felt like I was transported back 200 years. I show up to the front gate with my friend, and there's no electricity, no running water or anything. And this old monk, we knock on the front door with the gate, the entrance to the monastery, and this older monk answers, and he says, "Greetings in the Lord." And he's got this big beard. He's super happy. And he's like, "Where'd you come from?" And we were like, "Well, we broke down at the bottom of the hill and wanted to come up here and visit the monastery." So he let us in. He showed us the monastery grounds, which is kind of a tradition. As soon as there's a new guest, especially somebody who's completely green, you take them right to the church. You show them the church. He went in there. He started venerating icons, and it was so new to me. It was bizarre. It wasn't bad. It was just weird. And then he took me down into this lower chapel of that same church. And there's a thing called a reliquary down there, which is basically a box, beautiful box full of a bunch of bone fragments and things associated with saints, which at the time I didn't know what it was, but he pointed down to that and he said, "Look here. Here's a bone fragment of St. Andrew the Apostle. Here's a piece of the true cross." And he kept going, "James, brother of the Lord." And I'm like, wait, stop. Like, you're telling me these are bone pieces from those folks in the Bible? And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "There's no way." And he's like, "There is a way. Our bishops go all the way back to Jerusalem, and they've been involved in the church since the very beginning. And they've had these relics forever. And as the church grew, the church wanted these holy fragments for veneration, and they would keep spreading, keep spreading, keep spreading. And I'm like, "So that little piece of wood is a piece of the true cross?" And he's like, "Yep." And I about died. Honestly, I was so overwhelmed. There's the candles burning, the smell of the incense burning from the earlier church service, and I'm standing there in front of these relics, and this poor monk he honestly, he didn't smell very well. They didn't shower very often. It was just kind of poor and authentic. I was overwhelmed, and I couldn't. I had to stay. I could not leave. And I asked them if I could stay, and they said, "Sure, just participate in our life, and go to the church services and do the work and stuff." And I stayed, and it's the greatest thing that ever happened to me. But also, it caused all my demons to surface. When you're in an environment that is pure, I mean, it's completely pure. There's nature, there's the church services, which is predominantly reading and singing the gospel and books in the Bible, and you do manual labor. You really have no distractions to let the demons fester inside of you. And once those demons start showing their heads, you have two choices: to run back to the world and hide from that reality, or pull out a sword and start swinging. And obviously, in those first couple months, there were many moments where I wanted to run and hide. But I stuck it out, and I saw the benefits of sticking it out, because the depression that I had and all the psychosis that I had, which included probably bipolar disorder, and now they call it attention deficit, and I think I also have Asperger's probably, or high functioning autism. All these things were inside of me, and the more that I would face my demons and try to war with them, I wasn't even conquering them. I was just learning that they exist and I could fight. You know, I could say no in thoughts and in actions and in feelings. The more that I would do that, the more that the healing inside my soul was happening. And so that process made me want to stay even more, even though the work was difficult.